Most people in America are buying more car than they can afford, not because they are reckless, not because they are irresponsible, but because nobody ever sat them down before they signed anything and walked them through what car ownership in 2025 actually costs from the first monthly payment all the way to the final one. 68 months later, the dealership will not have that conversation with you. The lender financing your loan has no interest in it either. So that is exactly what this video is going to do. By the time we are finished, you will know precisely how much car your income can genuinely support, what budget range makes sense for your specific situation, which part of the market gives you the most real-world value right now, and which tactics will quietly drain thousands of dollars from your wallet if you are not watching for them. Before we get into any math, understand the environment you are buying in. The U.S. car market in 2025 is expensive by any historical measure. The average new car transaction price right now sits at approximately $48,000. That is not a luxury vehicle. That is not a performance car. That is the average. Across every new car sold in this country, for every person buying a $32,000 economy sedan, there is someone else buying a $65,000 full-size truck, and together they push that number to $48,000. The average monthly payment on a new car is roughly $735. The average used car payments, it's around $523 a month. The average new car loan term has now stretched to 68.5 months, just over 5.5 years. That means the typical American buyer is committing to nearly 6 years of payments on a vehicle that starts losing value the minute they drive it off the lot. These numbers matter because they frame the problem. For most households, the car payment has become the second or third largest monthly expense, sitting right behind rent or a mortgage payment. The issue is not that people cannot technically cover the number. The issue is that most buyers calculate affordability by asking one question: can I make this monthly payment, instead of the right question, which is what does this car actually cost me every single month when I include everything attached to owning it? Here is the income reality that puts all of this in context. The median household income in the United States is approximately $80,000 a year. That is roughly $6,600 per month before taxes. After federal income tax, payroll tax, and state income tax, which varies significantly depending on where you live, most households actually take home somewhere between $4,500 and $5,000 per month. Now take that $5,000 take-home figure and consider that a $735 car payment already represents about 15% of it. That is before your insurance company sends you a bill, before you fill the gas tank once, before you pay for an oil change, a registration renewal, new tires, or the repair that shows up with no warning 8 months into ownership. The monthly payment looks manageable in isolation. It stops looking manageable the moment you see everything else that surrounds it. This is why the financial planning community has long used a rule specifically designed to prevent this exact problem. It is called the 10% rule. The principle is that all car-related expenses combined, your monthly loan payment, your auto insurance premium, your average monthly fuel cost, and your maintenance budget should not exceed 10% of your gross monthly income. Some advisors extend that ceiling to 15% for buyers who carry no other significant debt obligations. Both versions of the rule exist for the same reason: to make sure a car does not crowd out the rest of your financial life, your emergency fund, your retirement contributions, your ability to absorb an unexpected expense without going into additional debt. For a household earning $80,000 a year, gross monthly income is about $6,600. 10% of that is $660. 15% is $990. That combined ceiling covers the loan payment, insurance, fuel, and maintenance, all of it, not just the payment. Every dollar you spend because you own that car. If your household earns $80,000 and your new car payment is $735, you have already exceeded the 10% threshold before you have paid a single other car-related bill. This is not a fringe situation. This is the average buyer with the average income making the average car payment. And they are already operating outside the range that financial professionals consider sustainable. This is why millions of households with respectable incomes still feel financially tight. The car is consuming the budget, and it is doing it slowly enough that most people do not identify it as the source of the pressure. So let us calculate your actual number. The process is simple. Take your annual gross income and divide it by 12 to get your gross monthly income. Multiply that number by 0.10 for the conservative threshold or 0.15 for the outer limit. The result is your total monthly car budget, the maximum you should be spending. On everything car-related combined, now estimate your monthly insurance cost, your average monthly fuel cost, and your average monthly maintenance cost. Add those three together and subtract the total from your car budget ceiling. What is left is the maximum monthly loan payment you can carry without straining the rest of your finances. Let us run through two real examples with real numbers so this is not abstract. A household earning $60,000 a year has a gross monthly income of $5,000. 10% of that is $500 total car budget for everything. Full coverage auto insurance runs a national average of approximately $193 per month in 2025. Fuel costs for an average driver covering 15,000 miles a year close to the national average run roughly $150 to $180 per month depending on local gas prices and the vehicle's fuel economy. Monthly maintenance costs, when averaged across the year to include oil changes, tire rotations, wiper replacements, and occasional minor repairs, add about $80 to $100 per month. Combined, those ongoing ownership costs land between $420 and $470 monthly before a single loan payment is applied. Subtract that from the $500 total budget and you are left with $30 to $80 for an actual car payment. Under the conservative 10% rule, a $60,000 household can barely afford to finance a car at all. Applying the 15% ceiling gives that same household a total car budget of $750 monthly. Subtract $450 in ongoing costs and approximately $300 remains for a loan payment. At current used car interest rates around 11%, a $300 monthly payment. Sustained over 48 months finances roughly $11,000 in vehicle purchase price. That is the honest ceiling for a $60,000 household, somewhere in the $10,000 to $12,000 range if the objective is financial stability rather than financial strain. When people hear that number, the reaction is usually discomfort. $10,000 to $12,000 sounds like a difficult segment to shop in, and it does require more effort than buying new. You will need to obtain a vehicle history report on every car you seriously consider. You will want an independent pre-purchase inspection from a mechanic who has no relationship with the seller. You will need to exercise patience because the right car at this price does not always appear immediately. But reliable, proven transportation genuinely exists here. A 2015 or 2016 Toyota Corolla with 100,000 miles on the odometer carries a well-documented history of reaching 250,000 miles with nothing beyond scheduled maintenance. A 2014 or 2015 Honda Civic at this price point tells exactly the same story. These are not glamorous choices. They are not meant to be. What they are is financially rational cars that will move you from one place to another without punishing your bank account for years. For households earning $80,000 a year, the math is more forgiving. 15% of $6,600 in gross monthly income is $990 for all car costs combined. Subtract roughly $500 in ongoing ownership costs and your real monthly payment ceiling lands between $450 and $500 over a 4-year loan at 7% interest. That payment range supports a new car purchase price of approximately $19,000 to $21,000 on a used car loan at 11% over 4 years. It finances closer to $17,000, the honest car budget for an $80,000 household, accounting for both new and used markets and realistic interest rates, sits in the $15,000 to $22,000 range depending on credit score and down payment. That range points directly toward what is genuinely the best value segment in the American car market right now, the certified pre-owned market between $15,000 and $28,000. These vehicles are typically 1 to 4 years old, carry under 50,000 miles, have been inspected to manufacturer standards, and usually come with some form of extended warranty coverage. They include the modern safety features that have become standard across the industry in the past several years: automatic emergency braking, lane keep assist, backup cameras, current infotainment systems with wireless connectivity. What they do not carry is the severe first year Depreciation that new car buyers absorb every single time. New vehicles lose approximately 20% of their value in the first 12 months of ownership. On a $45,000 car, that is $9,000 in lost value before the odometer hits 15,000 miles. When you purchase a 2 or 3-year-old certified pre-owned vehicle, that depreciation has already been paid by the original owner. You are entering the market at the point where the value curve begins to stabilize, which means your own depreciation losses going forward are substantially lower. You are driving essentially the same vehicle for significantly less total cost. Now the traps, because knowing the math is only useful if you can survive the dealership experience without being steered around it. The most powerful tactic dealers use is redirecting your attention from the total purchase price to the monthly payment figure. The finance and insurance office is specifically structured to exploit this. They will ask what you feel comfortable paying each month. Then they will build a deal engineered around hitting that number, not by lowering the price of the car, but by extending the loan term to 60, 72, or 84 months. A buyer who finances $30,000 at 7% over 84 months pays over $40,000 in total by the time the loan is fully retired. A buyer who finances $22,000 at the same rate over 48 months pays approximately $25,000 total. The monthly payment on both of those deals can look nearly identical on paper. The financial difference between the two outcomes is devastating. The defense is simple but requires you to hold the line. Negotiate the total out-the-door price first and exclusively before any discussion of loan terms, trade-in value, monthly payments, or add-on products. Get the dealer to agree on a complete purchase price that includes all fees, taxes, and documentation charges. Lock that number down. Then negotiate financing completely separately. Walk into every dealership with a pre-approval already in hand from your own bank or credit union. Credit unions in particular consistently offer interest rates 1 to 2 full percentage points below what dealerships arrange through their preferred lenders on a $25,000 loan over 5 years. That rate difference alone represents $1,300 to $1,800 that stays in your account instead of going to a finance company. After the price is agreed and the financing is settled, the finance office will present a menu of add-on products, extended warranties, paint and fabric protection, gap insurance, tire and wool coverage. These products will be presented as reasonable and sometimes essential. A handful of them have genuine value. Gap insurance is worth carrying if you are financing more than 80% of the car's purchase price because it covers the difference between what you owe on the loan and what your insurer pays out if the car is totaled before the balance is paid off. But the dealership version of gap insurance is typically priced 3 to 5 times higher than the identical product available through your own auto insurer. Buy it from your insurance company the day after you take delivery. The coverage is the same. The cost is not. Who genuinely should avoid buying new right now? Any household earning under $65,000 a year should approach new car purchases with serious caution given current market conditions. The combination of high average transaction prices, interest rates that remain elevated compared to pre-2022 levels, expensive insurance on newer vehicles, and steep first-year depreciation creates a financial environment where new car ownership is genuinely difficult to justify at average income levels. You are not receiving meaningfully more transportation for the premium you are paying. You are paying for being first, and first is an expensive position that loses its value extremely quickly. For buyers earning under $100,000 annually, the certified pre-owned market offers real, quantifiable advantages worth taking seriously even when a new car feels within reach on a monthly basis. A 2-year-old Honda CR-V with 20,000 miles on it currently costs roughly $10,000 less than the brand new equivalent sitting beside it on the same lot. It has already absorbed the steepest segment of its depreciation curve. The $10,000 you preserve does not evaporate. It remains available for your emergency fund, your retirement account, debt reduction, or simply the financial breathing room that makes every other area of your life less stressful and more stable. Here is the final thought, and it is worth sitting with. A car is the second largest financial commitment most American households make in their lifetime, yet it receives a fraction of the time and scrutiny that a home purchase gets. People spend weeks or months reviewing mortgage terms, comparing neighborhoods, calculating property taxes, and walking through houses before they commit. They spend a Saturday afternoon picking a car that will cost them more than $12,000 a year to own and operate over its full life cycle. That imbalance is expensive. Do the math before you walk into a dealership. Know your monthly ceiling for total car costs. Know your maximum purchase price before anyone shows you a car. Walk in with financing already arranged, and when you leave that lot, make sure you are driving something that genuinely fits your financial life, not just the version of yourself you felt like being when you walked in.